And we're back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast, bringing you our third segment, which is going to be talking about my third portion of my power rankings here, wrapping it up, which is numbers 21 to 30. Of course, just did numbers 1 to 10 and then 11 to 20. If you want to check those out, I'm sure they're on the channel. So, yeah, we'll be going over all this, and we'll be talking about it. So, we'll be doing numbers 21 to 30 in our power rankings here. But before we do that, I'd like to ask you once again to please like and follow the show. We do get a number of questions from viewers, so to ensure that question does get read in the air, please do the link, gsmcpodcast.net. It really does help the show, and it really does mean a lot, so thank you so much for that. And let's get back into the show for today. All right, so going over here now, we will be talking about numbers 21 to 30. Obviously, these are a little bit less interesting than numbers 1 to 10, number 11 to 20, as those teams will still be more competitive, but these are still solid teams. I'd say up to number 26, there's some good teams here, so we're talking about it and kind of rearranging the worst teams in baseball right now, going over this. So yeah, starting off at number 21, I have the Cincinnati Reds. Reds have had a really unfortunate season. Before the season, very much predicted them to win the NL Central. I did it for basically the entire offseason and then continued with it going into the season, even after the injuries, which in retrospect was a bad idea. Matt McLain getting hurt and being out for basically the entire year in spring training was kind of a sign that it wasn't the Reds season. It's really unfortunate that you are wasting a season of Elly De La Cruz in his prime, considering he right now is a genuine MVP candidate. But just, again, with the injuries that happened there, the injuries to some other people in your lineup as well, including Noelvi Marte, which wasn't an injury, but he did get suspended for PEDs, and having your starting third baseman get suspended for PEDs is not great for the season, so that obviously really hurt. So that stuff, some other injuries as well. It was clear from the start that this was not the Reds year. They gave up on it, trading some of their rentals, including Lucas Sims and Frankie Montas, most notably. So, yeah, go at it next year. Fully healthy team, fully healthy Matt McLain, fully healthy lineup of Spencer Steer, Christopher Encarnacion Strand, Elly De La Cruz, and Matt McLain. Going to be absolutely electric and going to be a lot of fun to watch as a baseball fan. Get some pitching. Hunter Green's really broken out as a true ace this year, and very excited to watch them going into next year. 22, I have their NL Central rival, Chicago Cubs. Cubs did buy at the deadline, getting Isaac Paredes, who not just is under contract for this year, of course, but 3 more years as well, so was kind of a buy thing, even though you weren't fully going in, because he's more of a play for the coming years as well. So I like that move a lot, but this team just isn't good enough, simply put. You've had some pitching injuries now, which has really taken away from probably what was your biggest strength for the entire season, your pitching rotation, but other than that, had some losses to the bullpen with Edward Alzlag undergoing officially Tommy John surgery. And yeah, just again, it kind of wasn't your year. I think you need to regroup next year, re-sign some people, sign some free agents, do all that kind of stuff, and kind of regroup this team around. And a lot of players have been underwhelming as well, including Dansby Swanson, who's been one of the worst qualified hitters in all of baseball this year. So that's unfortunate, because you got him under contract for like 4 or 5 more years. So you obviously hope he does better. So going to be interesting to watch this Cubs team and what they do in the future, and just how they approach this future and what their team is going to look like. So, yeah, do have them at number 22 here. Going to be a really, really interesting team to watch and follow for the future. 23, I'm going to be having the Detroit Tigers. Tigers surprisingly haven't been that bad since trading off a lot of people at the deadline. I mean, they still have a really good rotation. You have Tarek Skubal, you have Reese Olson in there. Jackson Jobe is going to come up any day now, I believe. Offense is really struggling, but Parker Meadows has come up and done pretty nice. Colt Keith has started to go on a tear a little bit, and you also have some other good pieces in the lineup as well, like Justin Henry Malloy and Riley Green. So there are pieces with this Tigers team. There is a foundation that you can look at and say, you know what, that's the future of Tigers baseball right here, or at least a little bit. The problem is, again, just putting it all together, having people, fully live up to expectations, and that's kind of it. So, going to be, again, like the Cubs, going to be an interesting team to watch for the future, and just what does happen with this Tigers team, and just how they do end up playing. So, do have them at 23 here, but I think they're a very talented team who has a lot of good things coming to them in the future, with how much talent they have, specifically in that rotation. Tarek Skubal, absolute monster. 24, I'm going to be having here the Toronto Blue Jays. Blue Jays, like the Cubs, like the Tigers, like the Reds, just wasn't their year. Went into the year hoping to make the playoffs again, hoping to be one of the wild card seeds, and instead had fully fallen out of it and completely stalled off at the deadline. I've continued to say that I think the Blue Jays need to go into a full-out rebuild. I just don't think this core is winning anything. and it just wasn't their year again. And I think going into the future with how good the Red Sox, Yankees, Orioles, and Rays look for the future, I just don't think that the Blue Jays are going to be competitive anytime soon, especially with the kind of mediocre core they have. I mean, you have a star in Vladimir Guerrero Jr., but after that, you have a lot of just very mediocre players. So I think that's really what this Blue Jays team needs to do. But, again, if they're going at it next year, you're still going to have Vladdy, still going to have Bo Bichette. Hopefully he has a bounce-back year. Still going to have a lot of solid people in that rotation, including Chris Bassett, Kevin Gausman, Jose Barrios. So it's going to be really interesting to watch, and I'm very, very interested to see what is going to happen with this Blue Jays team. And, but just wasn't their year. A lot of injuries, a lot of underperformance, and that's why they're in the situation they are now, being ranked here at number 24 and selling at the deadline. So there we go. 25 here, I'm going to be having the Washington Nationals. Nationals are going to be a threat of a team next year. Just a little too soon for them. Obviously, they recognize that and sold off at the deadline, getting some solid pieces back for some, complimentary guys like Jesse Winker, like Dylan DeFloro. Lane Thomas, they got a good haul back as well. I think Jose Tena could be their starting third baseman next year. Got him, of course, from Cleveland for Lane Thomas. So I like the Nationals' future. They have a lot of good pieces coming up here. I mean, that outfield next year of Dylan Cruz, James Wood, and potentially Robert Hassel as well is going to be absolutely incredible. And I'm very, very excited to be able to watch it, and very, very excited to see C.J. Abrams on this team as well. They've had a lot of good performances from young pitchers also. So I really like what this Nationals team is building. It's just it's more for them next year, and more for them to compete next year for there. 26, I'm going to be having the Los Angeles Angels. Angels are awful. There's no redeeming qualities about this team whatsoever. The only redeeming qualities left in the offseason for the Dodgers, and the other one is out for the rest of the year. So, this team is bad. They're bad. Christian Moore has done fantastic in the minor leagues, which is something to be happy about. Of course, was the 8th overall draft pick in this year's draft for the Angels. He's done absolutely killer in the minor leagues. He's already been promoted to Double-A. But on the major league team, not much to look forward to. Not exciting. The offense, I think, has a really good core. Zach Neto's become, I'd say, a top 10 shortstop in baseball. But Logan O'Hoppes looked like your franchise catcher. But pitching's still rough. And, couldn't get anyone to take on Tyler Anderson's contract either. So, going to be an interesting few years with the Angels. And hopefully Mike Trout gets healthy, and hopefully requests a trade finally out of the Angels. I speak for all baseball fans when I just want to say, please, we want to see you win. Please do something. 27, I'm going to be having the Colorado Rockies. I actually got to watch the Rockies up close in a 3-game series when they played my Mets, of course, and I was really surprised with what I saw. This Rockies team is surprisingly decent. I mean, they have a lot of good defensive players on their team. Michael Toglia, Tovar, and then Ryan McMahon are all above average defenders at their position. They all hit really well. So I like what the Rockies are building here. I did a full segment on it as well, going over Ezekiel Tovar's season, but mainly focusing on the Rockies and their young core. I like what they're building here. I like what they did in the draft as well. Charlie Condon and Brody Brecht, I thought, were fantastic pieces to draft. So I really like what the Rockies are building here. I think they don't have a horrible team this year. It's just, again, kind of building towards the future. And in 2-3 years, they're trying to compete for the wild card. I would not be surprised. I like what's going on here. 28, I'm going to be having the Oakland A's. Ace of Brent Rooker and Mason Miller. That's the only reason why they're not dead last on this list. They did just announce that the last game at the Oakland Coliseum has been officially sold out, which is a really nice touch there. Really nice job by the fans to be able to, experience that amazing history of a stadium one last time. That's really nice. But going on the current time right now, A's are bad and continue to be bad. Marlins at 29 are also horrible. They sold off everyone who had some sort of value, as they should have, but that leads off to be a really, really bad team, and that's the Marlins are right now. So I have them at number 29. I think pretty fairly. Yeah, they're really, really bad. And dead last, number 30, of course, has to be the Chicago White Sox. Just got off a 21-game losing streak and just fired their manager. So congratulations to them. They are the worst team in baseball. They are going to continue to be that. May even set the record for being the worst team in baseball. May break the 62 Mets record, which we never thought was possible. That's the new level of bad they are, and dead last year at 30, as they have to be. So, recapping this full list here of my power rankings, we start at number 1, Philadelphia Phillies. Number 2, New York Yankees. Number 3, Baltimore Orioles. Number 4, Los Angeles Dodgers. Number 5, Cleveland Guardians. Number 6, Minnesota Twins. Number 7, Kansas City Royals. Number 8, Houston Astros. Number 9, Milwaukee Brewers. Number 10, San Diego Padres. Number 11, Arizona Diamondbacks. Number 12, New York Mets. Number 13, Atlanta Braves. Number 14, Seattle Mariners. Number 15, Boston Red Sox. Number 16, St. Louis Cardinals. Number 17, San Francisco Giants. Number 18, Pittsburgh Pirates. Number 19, Tampa Bay Rays. Number 20, Texas Rangers. 21, Cincinnati Reds. 22, Chicago Cubs. 23, Detroit Tigers. 24, Toronto Blue Jays. 25, Washington Nationals. 26, Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. 27, Colorado Rockies. 28, Oakland A's. 29, Miami Marlins. 30, Chicago White Sox, of course. So yeah, that is my full power rankings here for this Friday, for this week. Going into our fourth segment now, which is going to be not power rankings related. I know, shocker. It is going to be about Joe Ryan and his injury for the Chicago White Sox. So yeah, going over that and talking about that impact. So yeah, we'll be going over that, and we'll see you after the break. So thanks, and bye.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app